What's up, Dirt Junkies? Tomorrow I am headed out on a winter backpacking trip, just for one night, but I thought it would be cool to show you the gear that I'm going to be taking, since it definitely involves some serious cold weather gear. The low where we're planning to go camping is about 13 degrees, so it is going to get pretty cold at night. We're going to get some good hiking in. There should be some good snow. We're taking a little bit of snow gear as well. It's going to be a fun trip. Me and my two friends, Justin and Brandon, who you will recognize from the Grand Canyon video. Awesome hiking buddies. I'll show you the gear I'm taking, my sleep system, including the clothes I'll be wearing, and some new winter hiking boots that I'll be trying out. I'm excited to show you all this stuff. First, let's talk tent. The three of us will be sharing one tent, the Best Sport 3-man tent. It is a little bit heavy at about 6 pounds, but we're splitting the weight between all three of us, so 2 pounds each isn't bad. But it's nice and thick and sturdy. The seams are fully taped, so we feel confident that this will hold up to anything that we encounter on this short trip up in the mountains. It will also fit all three of us nicely. We actually tested it last Sunday night when they were over at my house watching the game. We set up the tent and all laid in it just to make sure it would fit us. Should work great. Now let's talk sleep system. I'm taking 2 sleeping pads and 2 sleeping quilts, as well as 2 pillows. This is not an ultralight trip. This is an ultra comfort, ultra warm trip. The first quilt I'll be taking, which is under all this stuff over here, is actually the myLifeOutdoors 15 degree quilt. I know I said the low is going to be 13. That's why I'm taking a second quilt. This is actually my friend Justin's. It's just a down blanket that I'm going to put over the top of me while I'm in this quilt. I'll walk you through the clothes I'm wearing later, but I am going to be wearing a couple layers with this quilt just in case it gets a little cool. But those are the 2 quilts or blankets I'll be taking. Next up, my sleeping pads. I am taking 2 just for some added R value. Underneath, I'll be using the Thermarest Z-Lite closed cell foam pad. This has an R value of about 2. And then the second sleeping pad I'll be using is actually under all my other gear right here, so I can't show it to you. It is the Gear Doctor's Apollo Air 5.2 R value inflatable sleeping pad. I did a full review on this pad. I'll put a link to that video up here. It is nice and warm. I wish it was a little longer, but it's the highest R value pad that I have. When I combine this with a Thermarest Z-Lite, I should have an R value of over 7. Nice and warm for a cold backpacking trip. So those are my sleeping pads. Now I want to be really comfortable at night, so I'm actually taking 2 pillows like I mentioned. The first one is a Teton Sports Camp pillow. So this is not an inflatable pillow. I find that this pillow is a lot more comfortable than the inflatable pillow, so I like putting this on top of my inflatable pillow, and I find that with those 2, I sleep a lot better at night than with just one inflatable or even this by itself. And then this is the Gear Doctor's inflatable pillow. It's wider than a lot of inflatable pillows that I've tried. It actually has a strap that will go underneath my sleeping pad to hold it in place. Typically next, I would mention my cook system. I am not taking a stove or fuel because my friend Justin is bringing his stove and fuel. What I am taking for my camp kitchen is just a little aluminum mug. That's so I can have a nice hot cup of hot chocolate in the morning. I am taking a lighter and some fire starter. Because it's winter, we can actually have fires up there. I haven't had a fire in the Uinta Mountains in a long time because we've been in a big time drought. Excited to have a fire, which will definitely help us stay warm at night. And then of course, taking my long handled titanium spoon. Love this thing, especially for eating out of the Mountain House bags that can be really deep and get your fingers dirty. What goes in must come out. So of course I am bringing the poop shovel and toilet paper. Because this is an ultra comfort, not an ultra light trip, I am taking my camp chair from Udway. Udway? I don't know. Taking a camp chair so that when we have a fire at night, I have a nice place to sit, not on the cold, probably wet and snowy ground. Camp chair. Speaking of camp chairs, if you haven't seen my friend's channel, myLifeOutdoors, you should definitely check it out. He just did a video all about how he always takes a chair on his camping trips and started a hashtag called takeaseat. So I am taking a seat, Stephen. I'll put a link to that video right up here. I am taking my backpacking first aid kit. I'll put a link to this up here in case you want to see what else is in here, but I did put this together myself for less than $20. It's a great first aid kit. Of course, my Gerber dime knife. Love this thing. Small, effective, has pliers, scissors, blades, everything you need, but nice and small and light. I am taking a lot of electronics. Because it's winter and the days are shorter, I am taking my headlamp. Love this Phoenix headlamp. It's nice and bright, long battery life, and rechargeable. Also taking my Garmin InReach Mini, GoPro, tripod, monopod, so I can take you guys along for the adventure. A power bank to make sure that I can keep all that stuff charged, and just various cords and extra batteries. Another small electronic that I'm kind of excited about taking in a very nerdy kind of a way is this Thermodrop. It's a small thermometer that I'm just going to keep on the outside of my backpack so we can see how cold it is. I'm actually taking a couple of these so I can leave one outside at night, see how cold it gets, and then also put one in my quilt to see how warm I stay in my quilt and compare that to the temperature outside. Nerdy, I know, but I really want to see how well this quilt does. It's actually my first time trying it, so taking those. Now let's talk about what I'll be eating. A bunch of snacks for while I'm hiking, a couple Mountain House meals, and of course, a cup of hot chocolate. Can't go without that on a winter backpacking trip. All of my food is gonna go in this super cool Dyneema food bag from Hilltop Packs. Love this bag, super cool. Life is better with some dirt in it. These guys totally nailed it. You should check them out. They do custom printing on backpacks, bags, all kinds of stuff. Awesome company. Now let's talk about what I will be wearing because it is going to be cold. First, my hiking pants. I did just do a video on these. I love these pants. They're only 23 bucks. You can get them at Walmart. But underneath those, I'm also going to be wearing some thermals because it is going to be cold. I'm not sure if I'll wear these while I'm hiking or not. Going to play that by ear and see how it goes. A thermal top, shirt. I did just get some long Injinji. My wife's rolling her eyes at me right now because this is the third pair of Injinji socks I bought in like 2 weeks. Anyway, some long Injinji Ultra Run socks. These are their socks that have the most cushion, I think, and I just wanted some longer ones to go under my new winter hiking boots, which I'll get to in a second. Nice merino wool beanie and a fleece neck gaiter since it's going to be so cold. And some gloves, of course. I am taking some extra clothes to sleep in, just in case everything that I'm wearing gets wet, either from the snow that we're hiking through or from sweating while I hike. These are actually some fleece-lined running leggings that I bought, but they're really warm, and I like that they have zipper pockets because then I can put my electronics in there while I'm sleeping, and they'll stay nice and warm with me under my quilt. Also a nice synthetic, kind of a fleece feeling on the inside, long sleeve shirt. And then some super warm, thick socks to put on my feet. Really important to stay warm at night because it is going to be cold. And under all of that is, of course, my puffy. I'll be taking this along because it's going to be cold. Yeah. Because it is winter and it will be cold. And the last backpacking trip I went on, I wore trail runners. My feet were wet and freezing. It's going to be a lot colder and a lot snowy on this trip. So I actually got some Merrell winter hiking boots. I can't remember exactly what they're called. I got them because I liked the price. They were about 100 bucks and they would get here in time. I just ordered these this week. But I have been wanting to try out some Merrell boots anyway, so it was just perfect timing. They're supposed to be completely waterproof. I'll let you know how these boots perform. Because it's going to be snowy, I am also taking my Microspikes. These are great budget spikes. I did not pay $70 for these. I did a video about them. If you care to take a look, I'll put a link to it up here, but I'll also just put a link to this and all the other gear in the description below. I'm going to be packing all of this gear in my Osprey Ether 70 AG. I love this bag. It's nice and big. I am taking a lot of extra gear because it's cold and because I want to be comfortable. This pack should fit it no problem. I did a full review on this pack. I will put a link to that video up here. It's a great pack. We are planning to do some day hiking on the first day. We're going to get into camp, set up, and then do a day hike. This brain is actually a removable day pack, so I will be using that as part of the trip. Really like this pack. Should be perfect for this kind of a trip. That's what I'll be taking. So should be a fantastic trip. I'll definitely try to bring you guys along via the GoPro. And remember, life is better with some dirt in it. Oh, you